Hello, homeschool mamas. I hear that you are planning your new homeschool year. And I'm like, what new homeschool year? I am so done with this year. But I know that I'm not the only one that is in homeschool at a certain maybe year of our homeschooling. We sort of tire out and we think, we'll figure that out later. But I do know that when I was earlier on in homeschooling, I was all about the planning and about the colored markers and about the cool day timer, which I still own. But I'm not ready for planning yet. I hear you are. Are you a homeschool mom that is planning for your next year now? I want to hear about it. So this is a little secret from a 15-year homeschool mom. Probably before August, maybe somewhere in the middle of August of last year, I started to get ready. That is like the latest I have ever planned my year. And we start September 15th, sharp. About 2 weeks after every school kid goes back, because why would we start at the same time? So then we do that with fervor for the first 3 months, and somewhere before Christmas, I'm kind of done. How about you? And so then I think, we'll just catch up after January, after all the festivities are done, the tree's put away, and then I pull my stuff out and I'm thinking, I am so done with this. Let's just move into project-based homeschooling, or let's just do documentaries, or let's do just not the same thing I came into planning the year. Are you with me? And then by the time April comes, about this time, I've decided I'm now an unschooler. I'm an official radical unschooler that likes to do Charlotte Mason stuff outside. We like to do a little bit of nature journaling and anything possible that we could do outside. And then somewhere in May and June, it's just too nice. So we just got to be outside. We are just going to let it all go. June, I'm done. I want to be outside with a book beside a lake or a river or something, but I'm kind of just done. So I have a term for this kind of homeschooling. You could call it eclectic, and lots of people do. They move in and out of different philosophies, but I'll tell you that I think it's a seasonal homeschool affective mood disorder. And if you check what the first letters are of each of those words, seasonal homeschool affective mood disorder, it's all a sham. I have to think about that. So I've learned that I don't want to plan right now, but I know that a lot of you are doing that. I'm going to remind you that you want to plan for you too, not just your homeschooled kids. I'm really excited about planning the retreat, and I go into detail about what I'm intending on the podcast, which I released today. And one of the things that I did today is created a homeschool mama reading list for the course, which is really like an online retreat with 3 or 4 group hour sessions that we're going to join together as a group, and we're going to have some chats about the content and how it actually applies to our real lives. I wish I could bring you to my house and enjoy the homestead bed and breakfast, and it really will happen another year, but not this year. Meantime, we're going to develop this course. So I am so pleased to be working alongside beta students that are helping me develop this homeschool mama retreat online. And one of the things that I did today is created a homeschool mama reading list. But if you're following any of the stuff I'm doing, I have a reading list about homeschooling, but this one is a reading list for the homeschool mama's wellness. And I've chosen 14 of my favorite books. Yes, 14, because I am a reader. But 14 of my favorite books that is in a PDF format. And I am offering that as part of the course. I'm creating a workbook alongside that course. Much of it is going to be journal prompts for you to dig deep in a very focused way. So the goal right now for me is to develop a lot of journal prompts that really help you to think about, how am I really showing up in my homeschool? What's my real emotional atmosphere? Anyways, you can hear all about that on my podcast today. Something else that I wanted to ask you though is, who are your influencers? Because that is an element I hadn't originally thought to include in this retreat. And one of the beta students helped me think about that who are our influencers? Who are our influencers? Because the people that we read from or watch or interact with on a regular basis have a huge impact on us personally. And we are the atmosphere in our home. We set the atmosphere based on just how we showed up today. We can't actually force that into being. It is what we actually are. And so the work of homeschool, I think, starts there. That's the fun work, right? No, it's not. Nobody signs up for homeschool to do interior work. Nobody signs up for parenting to do interior work. But anyway, you signed up. So I've got those books to consider as you're doing it. But I want to remind you too that, I'm reading a book called The Artist's Way. It's not one that I put on there. I would love to create an online course for homeschool moms to develop their creativity. Something once upon a time I thought, I am not creative. And I'm not one of those people that has creativities. And as I became more confident or comfortable with myself, I realized actually I have tons of creativities. There's a picture that I posted this week with my daughter, Madeline, and we were journaling after we were nature journaling. But we were journaling together, and just this week we picked up the book, The Artist's Way, and it reminded me to do morning pages. I hope you've heard about this book. It is so invigorating. I love this book. And I decided, because I'm a writer and I was planning to flesh out a book that I'd already started a couple years ago about self-directed learning, I am going to spend my morning pages time writing a little bit more about my book, the self-directed learning book. So that's what my intention is with this one. And on that note, there is Thursday night a virtual Homeschool Mama book club. We're going to have 45 minutes to chat in all, and we're going to talk about us, our homeschools, what we're reading with our kids, and also what we're reading on our own. And it's also just a great way to connect online. So if you're interested in that, it's 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It'll be with a Zoom link, and you just have to ask me for the Zoom link. So I hope you and your kids are having a charmed week. I'm about to go to the canal to walk my dog, and hopefully walk, run with my daughter, and maybe do some Pilates on the hillside, because that is what you do when you live in the mountains. So tell me, are you planning your homeschool? I want to hear about that. Is this the time that you're actually planning the details of your next year? Let me know. Have a good day.